Peace and love, everybody. Doing this a little bit different right now. I am actually on the road, broadcasting while driving down the highway. I have my brother in the car, Damien, with me, and we're on our way on a return trip. And hey, I'm just dedicated to continuing to do this with consistency. I think actually there's probably a spiritual lesson in that in and of itself. But that's not what I'm, and we're not going to do a full broadcast. Forgive me that I'm not able to continuously look at the camera. It's probably better for everybody's health that I look at the road while driving. So if you can excuse that. But I wanted to just check in, and I know I'm a little more casual than usual as well. So what I want to just kind of talk about just real briefly during this brief check-in is in terms of doing things that feed your soul, doing things that nourish your soul. And many moons ago, in the fall of 1992, I was a college student at Tuskegee University, my alma mater, in Tuskegee, Alabama, where I went from my hometown of Detroit, Michigan. And during the time that I was there, a lot of the person that I am now was actually formulated then during my time in Tuskegee, Alabama. It was a time of great enrichment for me, a time where, um, as my brother and I were in the chapel on the campus last night. It was empty. We were able to go in and just be in that space. Um, it was on that campus that I shared. It was on that campus, or maybe it was talking with a former roommate and my brother and another couple friends yesterday that. Well, actually, let me back up because I don't think that I mentioned. Well, I'll get there. Excuse me if I have a little less focus than usual as I'm concentrating on the road and attempting to say what it is I want to say as well. Um, it was on the campus of Tuskegee University as a student at Tuskegee University that I actually came into uh, began coming into a sense of spiritual awareness. It was then that I made a decision uh, to commit my life to a path, to commit my life to God, and really begin to engage in a spiritual journey. It wasn't my time at Tuskegee was not an easy time, I wouldn't say, because there were certainly many challenges that arose during that time. I won't get into all of those right now, but it was definitely a time of developing character for me. It was a time where I, really began to hone leadership skills, and where I also, during that time, got in a position to begin speaking in public. I had spoken, there was a former roommate of mine. We were talking, Aki. Shout out to you, brother. This young man, this gentleman, not young man because he's older than me and I'm in my 50s, but youth isn't a matter of number of years, but a frame of mind. And so, young man does still apply in some ways, though an old soul he may be. It's a different kind of human. My brother David and I were sharing this weekend. But anyway, um, while I was a student on the campus in the fall of 1992, my brother flew down. While he was a student in high school, flew down to come join me for homecoming while I was in 1992, and um, homecoming is a pretty big thing on the campus of Tuskegee University, as it is with many historically black colleges or universities, um, which Tuskegee is. And I hadn't been back since 2001. It had been a long time since I had been back, um, and so I resolved that I was coming this year, and I invited him to join me 30 years later from the time that he came before, for a road trip, and just a time of brotherly bonding, and and he was obliged. He was kind enough to oblige. And to give some context, in 2019, a gentleman, Chris Green is his name, um, had posted on Facebook how he knew of a lot of uh, brothers, and he and I we belong to a brotherhood with one another. He posted something on Facebook. He was mentioning how he knows a lot of folks had been through some difficult life challenges, life situations, divorces, health crises, uh, deaths of family members, you know, things that had occurred in, business, with, challenges that had arisen in business and things of this nature. And uh, he saw how, coming back to homecoming did something to, coming back home did something for the feeding of the soul, and provide some nourishment and healing in that. And I resolved then I was going to make my way back. And with COVID going on, there was not a homecoming the last 2 years, and there was this year. So it was the first opportunity since then to be able to come back for homecoming, which I did. And even driving, getting closer to the campus, all of these memories of wonderful experiences uh, began just filling my awareness, coming back to me. Uh, Driving, into the town, and Tuskegee, Alabama is a little very small town. um, and the deep south in Alabama. And the school isn't, there's not a lot of students at the school, maybe 3,000 students or so that attend the school. Um, but even crossing into the city limits, there were things that I was feeling that I didn't even have words to. I didn't have the words that I could really articulate exactly what it was that I was feeling, the depth of what it was that I was feeling as I was making my way back to this place. This place is a place that I've developed lifelong friendships, and practically anywhere in the world I could go, I would know somebody there because of my time at this school of only about 3,000 people. And the connections and there's truly one thing about this place, and I imagine a lot of people have a certain pride in their school, but things that people who are around Tuskegee people recognize is that there is this deep sense of family, deep sense of loyalty to alma mater. And our fellow brothers and sisters who are sons and daughters of Mother Tuskegee, regardless of era wherein they were at the school or their age. There's this automatic sense of family that I experienced when I toured the campus as a junior in high school. And it was actually the combination of the deep, rich history of the school as well as the deep, rich sense of family that I felt on the campus that led that to be the only college that I applied to. I knew that that's where I was going. Um, and like I said, in many, 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 many ways, it helped to cultivate the person that I am today. The soul that you know to be Royce Fletcher Thomason, that you hear sharing these various insights on these Sunday Hope and Healing sessions. And I, being on the campus, and then all of this love, people who weren't there at the same time as me, that I still know and have relationships with, that I have bonded with, even though we were never at the school at the same time and never lived in the same city or even state. But we've nonetheless developed connections because of the fact that we um, shared we have a common history, so to speak. And there are certain things that link and bond us together as a function of that. And, of course, seeing all of these people that I haven't seen for a very, very long time, walking on the campus, on the hallowed grounds of that space. Um, I still do not have the ability to clothe in words the magnificence of the magicalness of my experience. And I say magical because in many ways I was transported through time and uh, and experiences. And there was, although it was a long, long time ago that I graduated from college, I definitely felt a sense of youthful zeal in the experience and a beautiful and profound nourishing of my soul. Like I said, I can't put it into words. And I'm sharing this as kind of a guide to mention to you all, whatever the things are that nourish your beingness, that nourish your soul, the things that connect you to you, find a way to connect with that. I've always known that of my connection to Tuskegee, how it nourishes my soul. Anybody who gets to know me knows of my love for Tuskegee. Anybody who I develop any kind of social relationship with, um, one of the things that jumps out to them is being very evident is my love for my school, which is the T-shirt that I have on now as I'm making my way back to Florida from Tuskegee, from Alabama, and yet, there have been many times where I was going to go, but something happened and I didn't make it. Basically, I just didn't make it enough of a priority to make my way back. And I knew that it was something that would speak to my spirit and nourish my soul. Um, but I tell you what, I didn't know how much until being there this weekend and experiencing all of what was experienced, and to be able to do so with my brother certainly truly added wonderful experience as well. But I mean, there are two people who had no intentions of going to homecoming. Two two of the people that I most would have liked to have seen. Two of the people that I had wonderful conversations with as a student at Tuskegee and still have a rich relationship with now. One I refer to as my little sister. She refers to me as her big brother, Kathia. Uh, and one was a brother of mine. We were roommates in college for a couple years. Our last couple years there, we were roommates and had a lot of deep, rich conversations as roommates, and still continue to do so to this day as well. And both of these people have continued to maintain a very rich, uh, wonderful relationship with. And both of these people, two the two people at least two of the three people that I most wanted to see out of all my time at the school, neither one of them planned on coming. Both of them made special accommodations to come. Um, and I really appreciate that, and the love that caused that to happen. And the inconveniences they endured for that to happen, and to stay longer than they planned last night, even though they were getting on the road to return home late last night, uh, and they had things to do this morning. Um, and that really fed and nourished my soul, and I didn't know how much it would until I was in it, experiencing it. And I feel like it's going to, continue to sustain me for a little while, honestly. And whatever those things are that speak to your soul, that nourish your beingness, that you might find reasons to put off doing. Uh, let me tell you, time can pass so quickly. No moment is promised. And, as much as possible, cherish the opportunities to do the things that are going to make a difference in your life. We all obviously need to do things to make money and sustain ourselves and our, provide for our loved ones, if that's your life experience. And I get that, and I certainly wholeheartedly respect it. But that's not the ultimate purpose of life. The purpose of life is to create, well, I won't say that's the whole purpose. Part of the purpose of life is to be able to dwell in a state that seems like their experiences that prevent opportunities for anger, frustration, bitterness, all of these other things, and to somehow, in the midst of all of it, to experience yourself as a divine being of love and light. And the way that we really, really, truly know that is when we get to the point where love and light is all we see, where we truly get to the point of being able to see the face of God in every person and the hand of God in every life experience, right? And also in the process of that, to accumulate experiences that give our lives meaning, right? And in the midst of all of the things going on, it can be easy in the hustle and bustle of life. It can be easy to let some of those things, pass and not really. I'm at a light, so I can actually look at the camera. Traffic's going now. Um, to take those special moments for granted. And so the night before leaving, my brother was in the closet packing. to get ready to hit the road, and to come to my place, and then we drove the next morning, heading to the school. And while he was packing and determining what he was going to wear, my niece was there, laying on the floor, just chilling. My sister-in-law was just sitting there on the floor, chilling. They're all in the closet. And like I got excited because like, man, that's a really special moment. That's a really special moment. There wasn't anything that one would maybe typically consider profound going on. All that was happening was a husband and father figuring out what he was going to bring for a trip, and packing it for a trip that was, you know, just for the weekend. And but what to me was beautiful and profound about it was that's the things that create these wonderful memories of life and experiences of life. It was just a regular day, just a moment of a family being there together, not doing anything special, just being present with one another and wanting to be in one another's space, share space together, and that moment. And during this time at homecoming, there were so many people that I saw, so many people I saw. Uh, a lot of people that I saw that I knew, a lot of people, a lot more people I saw that I did not know. And if I were to be honest, plenty of people that I saw that I can't say I consciously recall who they were at the time. I recalled consciously who they were at the time. Um, Seen a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. People I hadn't seen in decades, right? Um, People that I knew of that I hadn't met before, that I had wanted to meet, and got to connect with them. There was the football game, and uh, people hanging out on the avenue on the campus we call the Ave, and those things were wonderful. Um, Even went into my old stepping days for a moment. Not a whole lot of moments, but for a moment. And that was wonderful and everything. But some of the things that were most cherished to me happened yesterday evening when there weren't a lot of people around. Two things in particular. One was um, at the Booker T. Washington Monument, which is a sacred place on the campus, and uh, we sat there for a little while, uh, and and we took some pictures. Other people were taking pictures. We took some pictures of other people so that they could be so their whole party could be together. Some other people took pictures of us. Some people that we didn't even know we took pictures with. Um, and, these are, there's a person that was giving us information that we were just having a nice conversation with. Um, didn't even realize it in the nature of the casualness of the conversation. Turns out it was the quarterback that just won the football game. uh, and there were people, so this is obviously a current student at the school. There were people who were there who, there are people who were there as students in the 60s, who came there and took pictures, and I got to take, pictures with. And um, just having these conversations, these connections, this sense of family going on. There wasn't anything profound other than that was going on, but it was something beautiful and magical about it, because that was what a lot of my experience there was about. Like my brother in the closet with his wife and daughter, just sharing moments, special moments, that there was nothing significant about the moment other than the moment itself that they were sharing, and that they were all choosing to be with one another in the moment. You know, that was something that happened on the monument, which is a key place on the campus. And then afterwards, having a little bite to eat outside in a secluded area with two of my closest friends during my college days and still today, who both made a trip that they did not plan to make, to be able to see and to connect with me, which I'm very deeply grateful for. And we're just talking and having the kinds of experiences that we had then, just in terms of the exchanges and the interactions and the dialogue. And you know, of these two friends, one is rather straight-laced, low-key, and the other one is an absolute right. But you know, these different personalities coming together, these different souls coming together, and just a beautiful, beautiful sense of this is a place where love resides. We don't share blood, but we share familial relations nonetheless. We're a family nonetheless. And my late grandfather, John A. Hall, had a saying that the magic isn't in the blood, the magic is in the relationship. And, you know, those relationships with these people, and then my brother Damien sharing in this experience, you know, in this moment, you know, it was just a beautiful, 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 beautiful thing. Um, and there were actually other activities going on that would have been cool to have participated in. Activities that wouldn't be able to participate in very often, quite frankly. But that um, it was quite all right missing those activities to be able to have this sort of experience. Because something that I said is, while seeing all these people I haven't seen in a long time, and you know, very surface level uh, exchanges, you know, I'm not a person who's really big on small talk and stuff like that. And I, you know, said that, you know, I'd much rather have more meaningful connections, more meaningful conversations with just a small group of people. And those things happened. And again, just truly nourished my soul. Whoever it is that is a person in your life who truly loves you and supports you and wants the absolute best for you, who's always been in your corner and always wants to see you happy, even if they don't agree with you necessarily, whether they agree with you or not. And, people that just really truly have your back, people that you love and share love, genuine, true love connection with. You know, allow yourself to not take those things for granted, but to allow those types of things to be priorities in your life. Because at the end of the day, when you're getting ready to leave the planet, you're probably not going to think about all the extra hours you could have put in at work. And I'm probably not going to, think of a lot of those, you know, material things. Those probably aren't going to be what's your top thought on your mind. But the relationships that you developed and the experiences that you had with people, that you shared with people, the memories that you created with loved ones. And again, folks, just take advantage of that. And the other thing, again, just make sure that you prioritize the things that feed your spirit, the things that really, truly nourish you, whatever that might be, whether that's playing an instrument or gardening or going for a walk in nature or, enjoying a particular hobby that nourishes you, or whatever that is for you that nourishes your beingness. Make sure that you prioritize that, because that's what's going to continue to feed you and to sustain you in your soul. So I feel like if I'm talking too much more, I'll just be rambling. Probably have been rambling less anyway. And I went a lot longer than I actually expected to. Don't know if anybody's even checked in or not. I don't know if, and so I can't see. Oh, I can see that some people have commented now. I'm not going to be able to read the comments, but I see Sharon Byers and Sam Raj. I can see those names. Part of me wants to scroll down so I can see the names of who's commented. Forgive me for that. But I find it prudent to keep my eyes on the road while I'm driving rather than trying to do that. But please know that you are loved, that you are precious in the sight of God, that your life has meaning in you, and your life has value. And find the value that is in your life, and find the things that give value to your life, and sow seeds in those areas so that you can reap the fruit of those things. And I want to say to you today that I love you, and I pray the best for you. May your soul be nourished in whatever way it needs to be. And it isn't just a matter of feeding your soul when you feel deprived somehow. Hopefully you'll never get to that place, because it's something that you're doing on a regular basis, and you're able to be well sustained in the process of that. So many blessings to you, bountiful, bright blessings to you, of joy, peace, health, prosperity, and love. As always, I'm signing off with peace and love. I'll catch you next week. Can you hit the end button for me, bro?